Let's take a look at this equation more. Y is equal to a bracket x minus h all squared plus k. We have a as the number that's being multiplied to the x squared term, h is inside the bracket, and k is the term that's added or subtracted to the x squared term. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about the h because sometimes the h appears to be something that it isn't. So, let's consider this equation. Y is equal to x minus h. I've just taken this chunk of the equation. Now imagine I needed to substitute h is equal to 3. What would the equation look like? Now if h is 3, I know that the parabola is moving right by 3 units. But when I substitute it in, I have x minus 3 all squared. And that's because in the original equation, there is x minus. So it looks like h is negative 3, but it really isn't. Truly, h is positive 3 because when we substituted it into the equation, the negative sign was already there. Now, what if we had to substitute h is equal to negative 3? What's the new equation? That would mean that our parabola is moving to the left by 3 units. So I would have y is equal to x minus minus 3. If I have minus minus, that becomes x plus 3 squared. So it looks like h is positive 3, but it really isn't. Really, h that I substituted in was negative 3. Now let's do a couple of examples to identify a, h, and k and describe what happened to the parabolas. So we have y is equal to negative x plus 5 squared minus 2. I've got a number here, here, and here. So let's identify them. K is the easiest one to identify. That's the number that's added or subtracted. And I know that k is equal to negative 2. Now the next one, a is the number that's being multiplied to the x squared term. In this case, we don't have a number, but there's a negative sign. And when that's the case, there's a 1 that's implied there. So a is equal to negative 1. Now our h, in order for us to get x plus 5, we needed to have an h that's a negative 5 because we would have x minus minus 5 for it to become x plus 5. So in summary, we can say these things about the parabola. A is equal to negative 1. That means our parabola opens down and it wasn't stretched at all. When we look at the h tells us the horizontal movement. Negative 5 means it moved 5 units to the left. Finally, we have k. K is equal to negative 2, so that means our parabola moved 2 units down. In our second example, we have y is equal to 2 bracket x minus 1 squared plus 6. Let's identify our a, h, and k again. K is equal to 6, a is equal to 2, and the number inside our bracket, in order for it to look like x minus 1, it meant that h had to be positive 1. Since x minus positive 1 would give it x minus 1. So in summary, the parabola, we have a is equal to 2. That means it opens up, and our parabola is stretched. When we have h is equal to positive 1, it means that our parabola moved 1 unit to the right. And finally, when we have k is equal to 6, it means that our parabola moved 6 units up.